Well, g'day everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today we are working on some Kydex knife sheaths for our little carbon steel knives. Now, Kydex is a thermoplastic, wonderful stuff. It is super easy to work with and makes a really professional quality sheath very easily. Okay, so all I'm going to do, roll it up. It's about my halfway point, about 60 mil, 2¼ inches. And if we look here, I will just get away with getting the two out of one. So we want to double up the 60 mil. 60 mil, that's 120. Now I find the easiest way to cut it is just with a Stanley knife. So we want to press down nice and firm on our marks. Just running a blade through a few times just to get a fairly decent depth of cut. Okay, then we just bring it over the side. Bend it down over that edge. Okay. Fold it in half and it snaps off. Okay, and we're going in half this way. Same thing again, ruler between the marks. Ew. Try to keep it on the ruler. There we go. All right, from here we go into the oven. Now for this thickness, which is 1.5 mil, it needs to go into a 165 degree oven, so that's 330 Fahrenheit, and it's just in there until it gets soft. It only takes a couple minutes, folks. So yeah, it's just going in there until it gets soft, and that's it. So you can tell that by it droops down on the edges. I'll take the camera over there on one of them and show you that. So across we go into the oven and back with you shortly. All right, almost missed a very vital step. We need to thicken out the side of it just so there's a little slip in the sheath. So for that, I just used 2 layers of painter's tape. Okay, both of them will get that painter's tape on them. As I said, I just do 2 layers thick, just so it's got a little bit of extra room inside the sheath. Just gives it that little bit of slip. Same again on this one. All right. Now we're ready to go in the oven. So across the oven, it's only for a couple of minutes. We're keeping an eye on it, making sure when we see some sagging at the edges that we're ready to come out. Okay, this is my Kydex Press. It's a bit of scrap sheet timber, a couple of hinges on the back, and basically I just have some exercise mat foam glued in there. This one's probably done 100 plus. I'm due to replace the foam, but generally I do this sort of profile, which it still works good for. This one's a different profile than what I normally do, so I'll just work over in this corner. And then we have a couple of clamps just to squeeze everything shut, because once we come out we want to move pretty quick. Okay, now we're nice and flexible, so that's it. Okay, our Kydex is nice and floppy. Just marry that over, and that is very hot. Just make sure it's all neat, and I want to push the blade back so it's hard against. Squeeze it down. Just clamp it down tight. Now, because of the size of this one, I'll get away with a single clamp on it. It's right up against it. So we'll just let that so it cools off and sets. All right, catch you back in a second. All right, folks, there we go. Both out of the press. You see they're form fit now. Now, if you look closely, you can see a little line there. That's the edge of the blade. So working from that, we're just going to work out our holes for our clamp, for our rivets. And I don't want the rivet right up the top because it'll put too much pressure and make it hard to get in and out. One up there, one down there. Then working from the rivets. Sketch out the shape of the sheath. Now we want to leave that little piece here where it comes out, because that'll help to retain it. So basically, that's the shape I'm looking at. All right, there we go. So out to the garage, and we will cut those to shape, drill our rivets in. Okay, here I'm just using a little brad point drill bit that I got with my Kydex Rivet Press, and just drilling the holes. Okay, then we're over to the bandsaw and just roughly profiling out the sheath, just coming around those lines just to match up to what we designed, and just get it roughly to shape. So we're just taking the bulk of it off. Okay, then over to the grinder, just a rough belt, a 40 or a 60, and just neatening up everything, just tightening it back to where we want a nice clean line on it. Just tidying up the top as well while we're at it.
And we just want to try the fit and see how snug our sheath fits around our knife. So just easing down the cut. Just want to get that perfect retention on it without going too far. And going straight up to a 400 belt. Kydex is really soft, and you can get away with going from that rough belt to the finer belt straight up, and it's not really too much of a problem doing that. And lastly, my 600 grit cork belt, just to polish up the edges and make it all nice and pretty.
Now folks, last up we just need to pin the Kydex. Now we have here some Kydex rivets. That I just buy with the Kydex. This is a Kydex setter. It's got a little lamble piece and also another little piece that comes down. And between the two of them, they just smush the little eyelet down flat. So take our knife out because we don't want that bouncing around. So we just push the little rivets through. They can be a wee bit stubborn. This one's being more stubborn than normal. Through it goes. Okay, sit the head on the anvil. Sit the spike down into the hole. And just a couple of good whacks. Okay, there we've got a curved over rivet. Put the second one in. Alright, there we go, there's our sheath done. Alright, well I'm just going to quickly finish up the blade. Now that I've got somewhere to put it, it's going to get its last polish first, and then it's going to get sharpened. So I will meet you back inside in a second. Alright everyone, there we are, all finished off. We have our sheath all made, and our little custom knife is great for it. This one ended up grinding down a little bit too far. It didn't have too much retention, so I had to heat up the Kydex with a heat gun and just press it in a little bit just to get that retention I'm after. So there we go, and we're all sharp, ready to rock and roll. Alright, well, thank you for coming along on the journey for this one. Hopefully you've seen it all the way from the beginning, we've gone right from the design of a knife, especially for a customer, all the way through to these little finished products. So thank you very much for watching. Now please hit the like, hit the subscribe, and hit that little bell notification. That way YouTube knows that you like my videos and you get to know when I've got more videos coming out. I mean, I do have other knife making series in the works, as well as all the other series I do. Again, thank you very much for watching, everyone, and bye for now.